Okay. Hello, and welcome to the workshop for brain-based skills and strategies for a college student. I'm so glad that you're all here today. My name is Miranda Cox, and I am a graduate student clinician through the School of Speech-Language Pathology. My classmates and I have teamed up with the Office of Accessibility to present on the topic of executive skills and strategies today. As I mentioned, my name is Miranda, and I am here with Erin, Katie, and Paige. We are graduate students who are studying to become speech language pathologists. We have been working with Caitlin Perry, who is our supervising speech pathologist, as well as Heather Rose and Ashley Haas, who are disability specialists through the Office of Accessibility. Throughout this presentation, you will learn more about executive skills and strategies. It is important to know that we all have executive strengths and weaknesses. The question is, how can we compensate for our weaknesses to make adulting feel easier? Our hope is that you feel comfortable with the executive functioning skills, have access to some strategies, and know where to find additional resources by the end of this presentation. As I mentioned, today we will go over a few different topics related to executive functioning skills, strategies, and supports that can help you throughout your time at college and even beyond. We will go over what executive functioning skills are and what your unique executive profile is. During this presentation, we will also discuss how strategies can play a huge role in helping you compensate for your executive skill weaknesses. Lastly, we will present some grab-and-go strategies and also share where you can find more support on campus. Executive skills are processes that help to support us in our ability to be successful and independent. They're brain-based skills that are required for us as humans to perform different tasks. These skills play a role in helping us to complete tasks that are as simple as how to get a glass of milk, or how to get ready in the morning, how we study, or even how we communicate with others. These skills develop in an area of the brain called the frontal lobes. The frontal lobes, believe it or not, these skills are still developing and maturing well into our 20s. The frontal lobes are responsible for functions that help us to make decisions, guide behaviors, control our emotions, and choose the correct strategy based on past experience. Executive skills are very important. Executive functioning can be thought of as an umbrella term for a variety of brain-based skills. We will be discussing 11 of those skills today. Authors and psychologists Dawson and Giar helped us to categorize executive skills into two main categories: thinking and doing skills. Thinking skills would be mental processes that you use to help process information, make connections, and create new ideas. Doing skills involve taking action. We will discuss each of these thinking and doing skills in more detail shortly. These skills all develop in different order. They mature and strengthen as you practice them and learn from your experiences, and you will be stronger at some than you are at others. Between the age of 20 to 25, our executive skills should be fully developed. The younger we are, the more support we get and the less that is expected from us. When we were younger, we tend to get a lot of support and executive functioning from others. These skills develop in a certain order, and we do not just have them all by the time that we are born. They take around 20 years to even fully develop. Support lessons and expectations increase gradually as we grow up. This is because executive skills take experience, time, and maturation. Think back to when you were small. Your parents did everything for you. They were the executors that helped to keep you safe. As you approach middle school, you start to become more responsible for more and more. You were not quite as dependent on your parents or your teachers. You were expected to switch classes, have the right textbooks with you, and you used a planner to stay on top of your assignments. Expectations gradually increased to the present time. College. Once you hit your 20s, you were expected to be independent and self-sufficient. It is assumed that you have the executive skills and experience you need to thrive. It should be known, however, that each of us have our unique profile and executive strengths and weaknesses. We must use strategies to increase independence and success when executive skill weaknesses stand in our way. As I mentioned, everybody has a unique executive function profile. We are all different, and we all be stronger in some executive functioning skills and then weaker in others, and that is completely normal. For me personally, one of my weaknesses is organization, but I am working on that by using strategies and tools that help me stay on track. Just because you may be weaker in some executive functioning skills doesn't mean that you don't have those skills. You just need some extra help in those skills. It is important to know that it is important to know your weaknesses so you are able to address them and make them stronger. In the next few slides, we will go over each executive functioning skill. It is our hope that you have already learned a little bit about your profile through the questionnaire.
As Miranda mentioned, in the next few slides, we will review the several individual executive functions. So let's begin. Response inhibition is thinking before you act or say something, controlling your impulses appropriately to avoid negative consequences. This is when you are able to control yourself. Working memory. This is the ability to hold information or experiences in mind and then use, manipulate, or apply the information to another decision or problem. An example of working memory is when making a decision about whether to stay out late with friends the night before an exam. You might think about the last time you did that and ended up with a C on the exam. You make the determination that it's wise to stay in tonight, study, and get to bed early. Emotional control. This is the ability to manage emotions to accomplish tasks and meet goals. An example of this would be when you get up and walk away for a break or take deep breaths when frustrated or criticized. You'll be exhibiting good emotional control. Task initiation. Task initiation is the ability to begin tasks in order to achieve them in a timely fashion. A good example of task initiation would be the ability to prioritize and get things done right away. An example of bad initiation is saying it's not due for a while. I'll do it later. I have plenty of time. Sustained attention. This is the ability to stay focused on a task despite distractions, fatigue, or boredom. Planning and prioritization. This is the ability to plan out steps in order to complete a task. It includes the ability to make decisions about what is most important to focus on. An example of good planning is you know where to start and the path to achieving a task. For a research paper, you might complete your research, make an outline, and then start writing a paper. However, if you have bad planning skills, you may not know where to begin, and you might say what is important. For a research paper, you may complete your research, then just start writing your paper. There is no outline or anything else. One is this it is the ability to keep track of information or materials. Then you have time management. This is the ability to handle time appropriately in order to manage tasks. Flexibility. Flexibility is the ability to revise plans and adapt changing and unexpected conditions. An an example of good flexibility would be if your friend calls you the day of making plans and says that they have to change the plans. You would be very calm and understanding. However, if you have bad flexibility, you are very set in your ways, and your friend, you would get very upset with them. Metacognition. This is the ability to monitor your own thinking, performance, and ability level. Allows you to make adjustments and apply strategies as necessary to modify or improve your performance. The good example of this is if you're really struggling with this math concept, you say, I think that it'd help me if I went to office hours to review one-on-one with my professor. However, if you have bad metacognition, you'll say, I scored 50% on the quiz, but I'll probably be fine for the test. I'm sure I'm just having an off day, and you'll ignore it. Goal-directed persistence. This is the ability to complete a goal without distractions. Stress tolerance. This is the last executive function that I will discuss today. It is the ability to push through and succeed in stressful situations and to deal with the unknowns of life and its daily demands. An example of good tolerance is you control emotions and take it in strides. You manage your plans and such to ease the burden. So you plan ahead and you try to control as many things that you can, and then you just go with the things that you can't control in life. Ashley Hawes will be uploading an executive skills questionnaire that we hope you take the time to complete. We'd love to hear about your experience with it. We found that the questionnaire pretty accurately represented our executive strengths and weaknesses. The questionnaire also helped us to have a better understanding of our skills that impact our daily activities, both at school and in our daily personal lives. We all have strengths and weaknesses, so you are most likely not alone in this. I will share personally that my strengths were working memory, stress tolerance, and organization. On the other hand, my weaknesses were emotional control, task initiation, and flexibility. I was not the least bit surprised by my weaknesses. However, stress tolerance surprised me as a strength. So now I'm going to give the conversation over to Katie, who's going to give you some strategies on how to work with these executive functions.
Yeah, so we often hear stories about students who run into issues and feel like they're stuck. Sometimes the challenge lies in the inability to recognize your weaknesses and the related impact of these weaknesses on your daily life. Hopefully the questionnaire helped you to see the light when exploring your individual strengths and weaknesses. Are you able to identify the functional impact that these have on your life? And that's a good reflecting question. Prioritize. So what's next? Consider setting some priorities. Don't be a victim to your own executive skill weaknesses. Consider compiling some of the statements on this slide. What do you wish you were better at? What do you wish went easier? Or do you wish that you could complete on your own? This is a good starting point when considering where to start with strategy development. Stop and think about how you would fill in some of these blanks. Perhaps you begin to see some themes according to the areas you are motivated for. So setting SMART goals. Now that you have identified your weaknesses and prioritized what you want to strengthen, it's time to set some goals. A good frame of reference for goals is the SMART goals model that you see on this slide. So you can see SMART stands for specific, The goal should be specific and identify a specific action or event that will take place. The goal should also be measurable, and you should be able to quantify the goals and its benefits. Achievable, the goal should be attainable given your available resources. Realistic and relevant, the goal should require you to stretch some, but allow the likelihood of success and specifically relate to your priorities in your current situation. Timed, the goal should state the time period in which it was accomplished. So here are some examples on the screen. The first one says, I will complete assignments prior to watching TV on weeknights during fall semester. You can see here that the goal is specific to completing assignments. It is measurable because you have a timeline of the fall semester and it's related to the total number of assignments. It is achievable because you have all the resources to complete it. And it is realistic because you know you watch TV at night and the time frame is within fall semester. So the next goal is I will be on time at work for the next 3 shifts. This goal is specific because it talks about being on time. It's measurable because it gives you 3 shifts, and it's achievable because you didn't make too heavy of a goal. It's the 3 shifts, as to where if you had said I would be on time for every shift all year. You're starting off small. The goal is also relevant because you know you're expected to be on time at work, and it is time bound because it has the next 3 shifts. And the last example here is I will study chemistry for 30 minutes during 2 evenings a week for the next 5 weeks. This goal is specific because it talks about studying chemistry. It's measurable because it's 30 minutes during 2 evenings a week. It's attainable because it's 30 minutes is not a lot of time. You already have your study station set up. It's relevant because you have to study chemistry for your major, and it's important that it's timed for the next 5 weeks. So let's practice writing some SMART goals based on the priorities that you've set, and it'd be great to get together and share. It's also great to develop the strategies to compensate for your skill weaknesses. And here we've identified some accommodations, external aids, and self-directed strategies. Individualizing your strategy, but how? This might feel overwhelming, and it can be helpful to use resources for support. We recommend the resource Smart But Scattered we referred to in this text. We also would love to have some students come into our Audiology and Speech Center, where we provide individualized support to University of Akron students, and that's free of charge. Evaluating your outcomes and modifying as needed. Once you've successfully established a strategy and tried it, then you will need to evaluate the outcome. Did you meet your goal? If so, would you take the same steps to achieve the goal next time? You might consider if other supports were needed, what would those be? And how would you go about asking and attaining these supports? This takes metacognition and the ability to reflect and move forward with your skills that have worked for you in the past to achieve your future goals.
So now we'll talk about apps. Apps can be useful tools to help compensate for certain executive skill weaknesses by helping to make specific daily responsibilities go more smoothly. Apps are examples of external aids, which we discussed as a type of strategy earlier. We are going to briefly discuss some helpful apps which we have listed for you in a handout. Since executive skills overlap quite a bit, we have organized apps based on the executive areas that they assist with. These apps assist with responsibilities such as keeping track of assignments, staying on task, and managing medication. First, we're going to talk about the executive areas of organization, time planning and prioritization, and task initiation. 3 helpful apps to address these executive areas: My Study Life School Planner, Microsoft To Do, and Reminders. First, we'll discuss My Study Life School Planner. This is a customizable app that allows you to organize all of your schoolwork. With the overwhelming amount of coursework in college, This app can help you organize your assignments, exams, and projects. It will show you if there are any conflicting due dates that you should be aware of. For example, if you have 2 projects due on the same day, the app will show you this conflict so that you can prepare ahead of time. Personally, I like that there is a way to set reminders for upcoming due dates. This way, you don't have to worry about missing any assignments. Overall, this is a great app to help you organize and plan for your courses. Next up, we have Microsoft To Do. Microsoft To Do is an app that can help you create lists and tasks. The app allows you to break down tasks into manageable steps. When you've completed your tasks, the app works as a checklist where you can click to mark a task as complete. You can also set certain tasks as important so that you focus on what you may need to get done first. Similar to My Study Life School Planner, you can set reminders for upcoming due dates. This is especially a great app if you're a person who likes to make lists and cross off completed tasks. The last app we have for these executive areas is the Reminders app. Unfortunately, this app is only available for iPhone users, but it shares many of the same features as both My Study Life School Planner and Microsoft To Do. With the Reminders app, you can customize and create reminders and checklists that can be easily shared with other iPhone users. We'll now talk about apps related to the executive areas of metacognition and working memory. For the next 3 apps, Grammarly, Study Blue, and Medisafe Medication Manager, we'll show video screen recordings to give you all a better idea of what these apps can do for you. First up, we have Katie, who will talk about Grammarly.
So Grammarly is an app as well as a browser extension. If you can see here in the video that I am typing an email to Erin, and Grammarly is automatically correcting my mistakes as well as giving me suggestions for my email. I know for me, I'm not the best writer or speller, so this app has really helped me in my professional and academic career, and it adds suggestions to help make your writing more condensed and grammatically correct. When comparing this to the automatic function your computer does with red underlines, Grammarly gives a small highlight and you scroll over it, suggesting the spelling mistakes, so you don't have to take the extra click to change the word and change your formatting. For me, this app has been a game changer in writing efficient and condensed writing.
Next up, I'll talk about Study Blue. So this is Study Blue, which is a helpful studying app. If you create an account with Study Blue, this is what the app will look like. As you see me scrolling through here. With this app, you can create flashcards and designate them to specific classes. So I clicked into Psychology 1, and the cool thing about this app is that you can link your account to your university. So you can easily find study materials for your specific class number and professor. The app will provide related materials to the study sets that you've interacted with in the past. If you click into one of the study sets, as I'm doing here, you'll see different flashcards. There are 3 studying options with these flashcards. The first being the study option. And when you click on it, you can customize how you'll study the flashcards. Next is the quiz option. And again, this option is very customizable. And finally, the review option, as you can see here. To the bottom of the recording there, you'll see a magnifying glass search option, and I will click on that next. And here you can ask questions related to your course material. I clicked on the first question to give you a better idea of what the search results look like. And as you can see, there are a lot of helpful results. You can also search for different decks, classes, and textbooks, as you'll see at the top of the video there. Looking back at the bottom, you'll see a chat bubble with 3 dots on it, and that's where you can access any notifications. And then you can access your profile at the furthest right bottom button. There you can access your materials, classes, and classmates, as well as inputting any interests. If you click the blue plus button at the bottom of the screen, you can create a flashcard. The flashcards are really customizable. There's also an option for you to take pictures of your notes, and the app will pick out any words that can be made into flashcards, which I thought was a really cool feature. And then if you look at the bottom of the screen there, kind of above the text, there are different ways to customize your flashcards. You can customize with different features like adding bullet points, colors, different fonts, pictures, and audio. And that's a bit of a quick overview, but that's the app Steady Blue. Finally, we'll have Paige, who will show you Medisafe.
So here's the front page of Medisafe when you open the app, and then you're going to see that you can add medicine, invite friends. So we're going to add medicine first. So I just typed in Tylenol as a general rule. You can add the strength. You can add the appearance. There's all types of different shapes and sizes, and then the colors. And then you type in the frequency. Is it every day, as needed, twice a day? And then the times. And it will send you a reminder. You can also set in why you take it. And then you can do a prescription reminder with the RX number, and it will add to your main page. See right here, it will say set reminder. And then down at the bottom, you will hit take all. You can reschedule it, or you can skip it for the day. You can invite friends from social media, so you can hook it up to different social media. You can write a diary about allergies you had to medications, emergencies you had, different things like that. You can add your measurements, like your weight or different vitals, which may be important. You can add dosages throughout the day if you need to. Might be important for those as needed. Then it's really nice for some people in cases of emergency to just have a diary of the medicines you take in case you don't have like someone that you need. There's also news feeds of things that are going on, such as COVID, and it will show like medication interactions. You can also put in your doctors and your appointments. And again, there's that interactions checker. But again, that's what it looks like. You can add dependents. So if, say, a mother was using it for her child, so that's just a quick overview, but I thought this was very, very important, helpful when they're dealing with the Office of Accessibility. They're thinking of more than just schoolwork.
Some additional apps for the executive areas of metacognition and working memory are Quizlet Dashlane Password Manager, and Stop, Think, Breathe. Quizlet is very similar to Study Blue. With Quizlet, you can create study sets for your courses, or you can search study sets related to your class content. This app has 7 different study features, which include flashcards, games, writing, learning, spelling, and testing. The apps work great for on-the-go studying, but you can also use Quizlet on your computer at Quizlet.com. I've used Quizlet in the past, and it's a great study tool to use. Next, we have Dashlane Password Manager, which is an app that can help you organize all of your passwords safely and in one place. With most of our lives being online, I found that I have a new list of never-ending passwords to remember. But with Dashlane Password Manager, only one master password will be used to log into any website. This app is a great tool that will help you safely keep track of your passwords. And finally, there is Stop, Think, Breathe. Stop, Think, Breathe is an app that can help you with managing stress and any overwhelming feelings. Input how you're feeling into this app to receive meditation recommendations. With this app, you can give yourself a much-needed break from the stresses of college and life. Our last executive area is sustained attention. BlockSite and Focus Keeper Time Management are helpful apps that aid in sustained attention. BlockSite is an app that will block any website from your internet browser. The app doesn't block distracting apps, but it is fast and effective at blocking distracting websites. BlockSite can also be downloaded as a Google Chrome extension, with an additional feature where you can block websites during any specific time frame. This feature can be super helpful if you're like me and get distracted very easily. Overall, the app is an excellent tool to use to increase productivity. And with our final app, we have Miranda, who will show you Focus Keeper Time Management.
All right, so Focus Keeper is a really simple app that is also free on the App Store. Pretty much as it's set right now, for 25 minutes, you should be devoted to a certain task. And then there are also ways to customize it, which I'll show you. First, with the just free app, you can track your progress for the last 3 days. But here's the options. You can change the length. You can change the break length that you get in between. You can change how many sessions and your goals for the day. The background noise, there is some ticking that does get increasingly louder if it notices you may be on your phone using other apps when you should be studying or doing the homework. You can change the color, the sound of the alarms, and if you want it to vibrate or when you want it to restart your sessions. So there's a lot of customizing you can do there. And then I will go on to show you that it is very simple to change the amount of times that you are spending on a task. You can pause it if you do need to take a break. It's easy just to slide it over and make the length of time that you want to spend on something shorter or longer. As you can see, it's up to past an hour now. And then you can go into your breaks. The set time is 5 minutes, but you can also make that longer or shorter based on the amount of time that you want to spend on something. So overall, that's just a super simple app to maybe get yourself to spend time on a certain activity.
In addition to the app handout, we've compiled a list of the University of Akron campus resources. Handouts will be posted with this video as additional resources for you. Included in the campus resources handout, you'll find the contact information. I hope that you will consider our services.